Hey guys, how's it going? And happy Tuesday. I hope all of you are doing good. This is another late at night impromptu live stream. And this is going to be an update from the one that I did yesterday. If you're not familiar, go back and watch the live stream yesterday. After the first 10-15 minutes of that, you'll be fully aware of what went on. So there's been a breaking new update. And this is concerning, just real quick, and then I'm going to screenshot into Facebook so you guys can see what happened. So, as you know, there was a new law that just went into effect in Michigan where now they're requiring permits at your local police station to do face-to-face transfers, not for just pistols, but also long guns. And also, in many cases where you're dealing with an FFL, you still need to go to the police station to get this permit. This law is completely unconstitutional. I completely disavow, and all gun control is unconstitutional. But the city of Wayne, Michigan, yes, Wayne is a county, but it's also a city. They had put up a Facebook post yesterday that had said, we are only going to be processing these permits for like 4 hours a week. It was like 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Wednesdays, which actually violated the unconstitutional law in and of itself, with Section 15 clearly stating they have to be available to give these permits during all of their normal business hours. So I got on here last night advocating that all of you guys reach out to your state reps, senators, friends, family, spread the word, because this is going to make a de facto waiting period and actually makes the already unconstitutional draconian gun control even worse. So guess what? Like, literally that post caught fire. A lot of the reason is you guys who watched this video last night. Well, I do have an update. I'm going to show that right here, and then we can talk about this for a minute. So I'm on the 28EDU Facebook page. Thank you for all of you who have recently followed me over on Facebook. It's not that it's my favorite site, but this is where all of the politicians and all of the different cities and municipalities, this is their public square. This is where you have to follow this type of stuff. This is where they always post it. Okay, so I shared this post yesterday that got lots of traction. If you remember, I shared it with different state representatives, senators. My state representative, Jamie Thompson, was in the comment section there right away. We saw Senator Michelle Hoitenga had liked the post, or liked my comment rather, meaning she was aware of it. I spent all day today on the phone with representatives, with senators, different people. Brendan from Great Lakes Gun Rights, Joshua Powell, who's the candidate for representative in this special election coming up on the 16th, right? And Wayne happens to be right in his future district because he needs to win this race. So guess what? Here's the post that I shared yesterday. I'm sharing it right now on my screen. So this appears to be in direct violation of Michigan law. If you guys didn't watch the stream yesterday, go watch it so you can get up to speed of what had happened. It says this content isn't available right now. Well, guess what happened? The City of Wayne Police Department took that post down, and I'm sharing right here. Here's a great event that I shared. That's another good thing about following me on these other platforms. I share cool events going on in the community. But City of Wayne, Michigan Police Department has just updated this, and this is 7 hours ago. This was this afternoon. Says, thank you to everyone for their feedback regarding gun permit processing. Gun permits will now be processed Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., which I believe is the hours that their records department is normally open. So there you go. There's the breaking update. You guys getting involved in this did make a change. So everyone that just wanted the real quick 5 minutes blurb of the news, we're still well under 5 minutes, and you guys got the news there. Now, I do have some thoughts on this, so I'm going to stay on for a few more minutes. I'm going to check the chat here in a minute and see if you guys have any thoughts or want to have a conversation about this, but that quick. Think about this just for a minute here. There were other people sharing it. I'm not taking the credit for it, but just some landscaper dude sitting in his shop that cares about the Second Amendment, hanging out with a bunch of regular people just like you. We sat and talked about this last night, and as we speak, a lot of people are still watching that video, and I hope some of them will come over here to see the update, because a lot of you got pissed off. A lot of you got angry because you're like, this is crazy that we have these draconian, unconstitutional gun control laws anyways, and then it made it even worse that all of a sudden the police, it appeared, weren't even going to follow the law. real quick here, for those of you that didn't see it yesterday, the problem was they were going to heavily restrict the hours that they were given these permits. But the problem is the gun control law itself in Section 15 said a licensing authority shall implement this section during all of the licensing authorities' normal business hours. Yeah, it appeared that they were in direct violation of that. A lot of you responded. And they did go back to, from what I understand, and I'm going to give you more information in just a few minutes, they're going back to how they always used to do it, because they used to have to give permits for people that weren't buying from an FFL for pistols that also didn't have a CPL. I know, lots of acronyms. It was the way it was before this new law went into effect. You had to go to your police station and get a purchase permit if you were buying a pistol face-to-face and you didn't have a CPL, or just transferring it. You didn't actually have to buy it, just transferring the pistol, whether it was a gift or whatever. You had to go to your local police and get this permit. Now we're looking at that for all long guns as well, unless you're a CPL holder. And I'm not giving legal advice, guys. I'm just telling you the gist of it. Well, they expanded it to long guns as well for face-to-face private party transfer, as well as people trying to buy guns from gun shops who do not have a Michigan concealed pistol license. Well, what started happening is a lot of people started going to their local police stations and sheriff's departments to get these permits. And they said, well, we don't have the staff for this, or we don't want to do it. There's many speculative reasons why some of these police departments, and there's many of them that I'm finding out about from you guys, that are narrowing their hours down to where there's barely even any time available to get these permits. But the City of Wayne Police Department did it a little bit different. They actually posted it right in public on Facebook, made an announcement and said, here's our new hours. And it was 1 day a week for 4 hours they were going to be issuing these permits. So here's my thoughts on this. Since they've literally come back today, they've removed that post that they posted yesterday. You guys all remember the screenshots I showed yesterday. Like, we're not making this up. They literally had that up there. Many people commented on it, including a lot of you. We had representatives getting involved. This is what we're supposed to do, is contact our duly elected officials when stuff like this is going awry and say, this is wrong. This needs to stop. So it was there yesterday. It's not there anymore. They literally took that post down and they've updated it with this real short, simple post. Thank you to everyone for their feedback regarding gun permit processing. Gun permits will now be processed Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. That's 4 days a week. It's still only 5 hours a day. Okay, let me just stop. So obviously that's still BS, but it's also completely unconstitutional that you should have to get a permit or any of these things to exercise your natural God-given right to keep and bear arms, because the Second Amendment is very clear. The right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. And having to go get a permit, which you have to purchase, by the way, you have to pay for it, possibly, and in many cases, probably wait in line. It's not okay that they've expanded their hours. Like, this is not like a victory in and of that. I'm not saying it's a victory that you still have to go get a permit. I'm not saying it's a victory that you have more days to get this permit. All permits and licensing schemes and every single gun control law in the whole entire country, state and federal, are completely unconstitutional and should not even be possible in America, where we have a Second Amendment. That's my stance. Now, let's look at this from the other side of things. And I don't mean from the other side's point of view. There's just two things going on simultaneously right now. This is still a problem that we have to do permits at all. It is a problem that we have any of these gun control laws on the books. But I do want to take a minor victory from this. And this is the victory. Not that, in my opinion, I don't even know if the Wayne Police Department is still in compliance, actually, with the law. That appears that they still might not be. It's not what I'm getting at. But what we did see happen here is a lot of people, a lot of regular people, just like you and just like me, got involved in this for once and said, no, this is it. We're tired of this slippery slope. We don't want to look forward to a domino effect. Excuse me, or anything like that. This needs to stop right here. And apparently enough of you and enough of the people you know got a hold of either the City of Wayne directly, the City of Wayne Police, your state representative, your state senator, maybe you were getting your city council involved. Whatever happened, a lot of you guys did something and then said something and shared the news, and it's amazing. You don't often see a government retract a post that they put up and then put out another post saying, we heard you loud and clear. We're going to go back to how we did it before. So what do you guys think? I think there's two things going on at once, and I want your opinion in the chat or in the comments if you're watching this on replay. And shout out to everybody who ends up watching this tomorrow morning or tomorrow night or whenever. This is late Tuesday night, about 10:55 Eastern time. But yeah, they came back and said, well, we've changed our mind and we're going to go back to issuing them, I guess, how they were up and until this recent new time slot that they had just thrown in place the other day. Now, I'm also hearing about a lot of other cities and municipalities throughout Michigan that have narrowed down the times that they're available and willing to issue these permits. So let me know if you guys still know of other places. Because I guess the only good news here, and look, guys, I just don't want to be black-pilled all the time, okay? I'm not saying this is the major victory, but it is insofar as people finally got involved for once. But now hopefully we can set this as some good precedent, meaning if they're doing this kind of stuff in other areas, maybe we need to remind them of Wayne, Michigan, and how they kind of got called out pretty bad for doing what they're doing. What do you guys think? Any thoughts on that? I'm going to read some chat here. This stream doesn't need to go on for a particularly long period of time. I think I got the update out there pretty quickly. But it looks like some of you guys are still hanging out here late at night. But I want to thank all of you guys, whether you're live right now or watching on replay, for the many ways you guys help support the channel. Those of you who are YouTube channel members, some of you guys help support on Patreon and also on Locals, which is a different site, censorship free. I do an extra live stream there every week. So make sure you check the comments for that, or the pinned comment, as well as the description, because I have many links and many ways you guys can support the channel down there. So thank you guys. I've been out working all day. I was out unloading boulders out of my truck. I was covered in mud earlier. You can still see the stains of it literally on my shirt right now, but I wanted to make time to come on here and talk to you guys about this. So I wanted to thank all of you who got involved last night. I'm going to say, what do you think? I haven't really seen anyone respond yet to my initial question. Not a victory insofar as there's more days that we get to register our guns, and because that's what it is. They say it's not registration. Yeah, right. Does anyone actually believe that? But it's a victory only insofar as finally people from the Second Amendment community, the gun community, I think a lot of my viewers had a lot to do with this, got involved on the local level, and they've backtracked and they took back their statement. Now, I was talking to candidate Josh Powell earlier on the phone. He told me that he was going to the Wayne City Council meeting. This is the town where all of this is going. He's running in the special election that I keep talking about. It's coming up in 2 weeks. It's so huge, guys. And he was there. He did a public comment. And I guess the chief of police there as well, that got up and did a public comment to the community saying, hey, look, we're really short on staff. Apparently somebody had left the department. They didn't have people to work the desk. So the way it was framed to me anyways, the way it was framed in the public comments, I'll say, is basically, hey, we didn't have the staff, so we took the hours down to this because we didn't have enough people to do these permits. Well, hey, here's how I look at that. It sucks to be you, Wayne Police, because it sucks to be an American and to be a Michiganian right now where you have to go register your pistol and get a permit. Trust me, the people are much more annoyed that they have to go get a permit to lawfully transfer their lawfully owned property. Just two good people transferring firearms. We're a lot more annoyed by the fact that we have to go there, wait in line, pay money, ask for a permission slip to exercise our God-given rights. That's their problem. And you know what created that problem? All of the people in the legislature that voted for this law. This is Public Act 372 of 1927, as amended, just here a month and a half ago. to now include all of these face-to-face transfers for long guns as well. Somebody trying to buy a pistol, even at a gun shop, where they do the NICS check, but that's not enough. If they don't have a CPL, they still have to go back to the police and get a permit. That's whose problem it is. So if people from these local police departments, if the police and the sheriff's deputies are annoyed, or they don't have enough staff, or they can't do these permits, well, they need to take that up with the Michigan legislature, I guess. And there's a lot of pro-gun cops out there that say we didn't want any of these laws to pass. I'd like to see them advocating, if that's their stance. And I'm sure in some cases it is, and I hope that it is. Maybe they should be advocating to the communities that they serve, and maybe they should have been more outspoken on these gun control bills. You know what was crazy is I was talking to a state representative earlier today, and they brought up the whole thing that many of them do, that, look, a lot of the cops don't want this gun control either. They don't want this. Well, the individual police might not. And I know some individual cops that are good guys, and I know some sheriffs that are constitutional sheriffs that say they're not going to enforce red flag laws and other unconstitutional measures. However, I would note this. When Michigan Representative Kelly Bream was holding her hearings, okay, in the committees about all of these gun control, back then they were bills, now they're laws. We've had 4 major gun control laws go into effect in Michigan here just a month and a half ago. These are a big deal. I noticed that the Sheriff's Association and Chiefs of Police Association supported the gun control. And it makes it really frustrating. And I hope the good cops that are watching out there aren't frustrated at me. I would expect you to be frustrated at your organizations that go and lobby Lansing and show up to these committee hearings. See, that's when you stop these bills, is in committee. But we actually had the police. Now, I'm not saying every cop. Let me say this one more time, because we're on the internet and people like to think that everything is just diametric. It's either exactly this or exactly that. No, I'm smart enough and mature enough to realize that there's a sheriff here and a sheriff there that's saying, me and my deputies will not do red flag laws. And I hope they're right. And I think in some cases we can believe them. I think there are some good ones. I know there's just a patrolman, a police officer that's watching right now saying, dude, I hate this stuff as much as you do, man. Like, duh. I'm a fan of the 2A Edu channel. Like, I know there's a couple of you guys out there. Well, it must be frustrating to all the good cops and good sheriffs and good sheriff's deputies out there, the local city police, all of them, the Michigan State Police, wherever they work for. They must be real frustrated that their organizations. So when I'm sitting there in these hearings, right, in these committee hearings, when all of this stuff was brewing and we were keeping you updated right on this channel, it was very frustrating to hear that, yes, the association of, speaking on behalf of the sheriffs and police, we back this gun control. And that's what they did. And then the police are like, well, we don't have time to give these permits. Well, too bad. I mean, look, if it's a pro Second Amendment policeman that's sitting behind the counter and he's disgusted that he even has to do these permits because he believes shall not be infringed, hey, people have to make personal decisions of where they work and what they do. And I'm not a dictator, so I'm not going to dictate to people where they work or don't work, but I do think that their oath to the Constitution dictates that they're supposed to protect and serve, and they're supposed to defend the Constitution of the state of Michigan and of the United States. And when the Constitution of the United States says shall not be infringed, which is pretty easy to understand, in Michigan Constitution Article 1, Section 6 says every person has the right to keep and bear arms in defense of himself and the state. I'm like, hey, you took the oath. You're getting paid by we the people. It's a time for choosing, and I get it. And I'm not envious of these hard choices people have to make, but I don't know. Am I the only one thinking this right now? If you don't have the staff and you don't really want to have to do these permits, instead of saying you can only get a permit 4 hours a week, why don't you just say, we'll just give everyone a permit, or we just don't do permits at all because it's not necessary and we won't enforce. These are just questions that I would have for the police. And I know it's hard to generically call the police one thing, but again, back to these committee hearings when these bills were going through and they did become law, the police and the sheriffs, I'm using quotes here, the police and the sheriffs supported much of these gun control measures that went through the legislature. So that's kind of like their problem, not our problem. But I do think that we should celebrate a minor victory insofar as, one more time, we're not celebrating that you now have 4 days to get permits to get your guns in the city of Wayne. Nobody needs to celebrate getting permits for anything. Free men don't ask for permission, right? But we should celebrate a small victory insofar as we all finally got together on something. We did put the pressure on, okay? And by putting the pressure on, they did rescind the thing that they were doing, and there was a change, like literally within 24 hours, okay? If they have no time, you know what I'm saying? If they're like, we can't do it, well, they should take it up with the legislature, first of all. And if these organizations that represent the sheriffs and the police want to be pro-gun control, maybe these individual small-town police officers and individual sheriffs throughout all these counties need to get together and figure out who the heck's representing them when it comes to their associations. Because I would think any good cop would be questioning that. And I hope they are questioning that, right? They could just say, look, we don't have time for this. We support the Second Amendment. Just everybody gets a permit. We just have like a big pile of them. And look, I'm not giving the police legal advice, but I'm saying, why not? We do amnesty for all kinds of other things. We do mass amnesty for illegal invaders. Many places have said we won't prosecute anybody of all these other certain crimes. These are people actually committing crimes. See, these laws, these are all good people following these laws, because these laws only affect the law-abiding. Criminals, you think they get permits? I doubt it. Nope, this is only the law-abiding citizens. So maybe the answer is they show a little deference to the law-abiding citizens for once. It kind of would be for once, right? And say, no, we'll just issue a permit to everybody because we don't even have time to do this. I don't know. They'd probably be in big trouble from the attorney general. There'd probably be all kinds of snafu with that. It would probably be considered illegal for them to do that. But here's the ironic part. It's also illegal, according to the Public Act itself, with Section 15, it's also illegal for them to restrict the hours. At least it appears to be illegal for them to restrict the hours if they're giving permits. So I don't know, what gives? When there's a limited amount of resource, how come the deference always has to be to the government instead of to we the people? So I think we should consider it a victory only insofar as we actually got out on the court of public opinion and got them to relook at what they're doing, okay? I think it was brought to their attention like, whoa, we can't just do this stuff in the shadows of the darkness. There's actually people that know what's going on. People are actually talking. And maybe they heard some pretty good legal arguments in the comments of that Facebook post. So there you go. The city of Wayne is going back to, the way I understand it, how they've always done it for like decades. At least how they always did it with pistol permits, but now it's for long guns as well. And they're going to be doing it for all of the hours they're available. I don't concede that they're following the law even now. I don't concede that. There's still questions about that, actually, legal questions. And we can look in the comment sections of this new post, which I'll share in just 1 minute here. And you guys might see some of those potential legal questions too. Let me take a real quick look at the chat here and see how you guys are doing tonight. I don't expect a lot of people are watching right now. It is late at night, but we had a good conversation last night. And some of you guys just watched that video that I did today, and I wanted to do an update. The city of Wayne has rescinded that new policy or new memo they put out. And yeah. What's happening, Jane Locke? Nice to see you. Paul Bennett. Benyu. I can't really pronounce that name exactly. Tom Bragalone. Bragaloni. It could go 2 different ways, right? We've got Bill Alexander. He says, great news. I think it is great news as far as enough of us finally got together on something and got their attention a little bit. I'm not naive, guys. This is not a major end-all, be-all victory, but when you complain about something and then they actually acknowledge it and come back your way a little bit, it is better than the opposite. Okay? No types of permits are okay at all, though. Like, literally not at all. Yep, I made that very clear. What's up? Yep. If you have a CPL, you don't need. And there's a lot of people in my comments that have said that. Just get a CPL. If you have a CPL, it doesn't matter. Look, no, it does matter. At least it matters to me big time. Because a CPL is, again, it's a license. It's another permit that you have to purchase from the state. Look, needing to have a CPL to not get a permit, that's like saying, well, it's okay to get a permit so you can bypass the permit. The whole CPL scheme isn't okay. The whole CPL scheme is completely and utterly unconstitutional. You should not need a CPL to conceal a pistol or any firearm or any weapon, because the Second Amendment isn't just firearms. It's any arms, which would include knife, gun of all kinds, including full auto, select fire, bazooka. Yeah, actually, warship. Yeah, actually. No, literally, the Founding Fathers owned civilian warships. And if they didn't, things might have gone a little bit different. And we might not even be in the United States of America talking about this right now if civilians back then didn't own heavy artillery, cannons, warships. They actually had versions of fully automatic firearms back then, actually. Not many people realize that, but they actually did. And we, the people, had greater arms than the standing army. And that's how the Founding Fathers wanted America to be. And that is why America was formed, actually. So, no, having a CPL, yes, it does get you out of it, per se. But you fall into this trap to get yourself out of this other trap. We actually don't even need constitutional carry laws. Now, hold on, let me finish, because when I say this, it can be a bit controversial. I actually don't even support constitutional carry laws. You know why? Because a law that says you're allowed to, according to the legislature of pick your state, we now allow you to carry these firearms without a permit. Sounds great, and it's a lot better than the alternative, except for that's actually not very good either, because we already have all of the permission we need. All of our rights are endowed by our Creator. That's what Thomas Jefferson said when he wrote the Declaration of Independence in 1776. So the government telling you, we'll let you keep and bear arms? No, actually, the Second Amendment doesn't grant you the right to keep and bear arms at all. It says a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Nowhere does it say, the government of the Continental Congress and the Founding Fathers of the United States hereby give you permission to keep and bear arms. No, it doesn't say that at all. It simply says the right of the people, meaning they acknowledged it was a pre-existing right that pre-existed all government, including the government of the United States of America. You want constitutional carry? Here's what constitutional carry is. The right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Repeal every gun control law we have, and then we would be under constitutional carry, actually. See, the true constitutional carry, the true American way would be we would have one law and one law only in this whole government and the whole country that would regulate firearms. And it would have one very strong regulation. And you know what that regulation would be? It would be against the government. And it's the simple words that are there still right now, shall not be infringed. The Second Amendment doesn't grant you anything. It puts a mandate on government and tells the government, hands off, don't touch their guns, don't tread on me, shall not be infringed. So that's where I'm at with all of this. If you guys want to know how purist I am, I'm such a purist Second Amendment supporter that I don't even like constitutional carry laws. The only laws I like at this point are bills that are put through that will repeal gun control. This is what I would like my representatives in Michigan to vote on. I'd like them to vote on a bill that would be this simple. Hereby, the Firearms Act 372 of 1927 is hereby repealed. That would be a bill that I would support. I don't know. How far do you guys think we are away from something like that? I mean, if enough people watching like some small little YouTube channel that's a landscaper for a living and does this on the side, way too late at night for most people to even see the video. If we were able to get enough people to raise the awareness for a local city police station to switch their policies like that literally the next day. We still don't agree with any of this, but they did switch it to where it's a lot less worse. Just like that. What would happen if we could get more people involved? Like, that's where you guys come into play, talking to your friends, neighbors, family, on the internet, in real life. Try to talk to people as much as you can in real life. That's very, very important. At church, in the city park, wherever it is that you talk to people. At the shooting range, actually, there's like so many people who own guns that have their head in the sand and don't even give a crap about anything. Well, because of that, here we are. But I think if there's enough people that can get involved and we can keep gaining momentum with small little victories, again, this thing with the city of Wayne was a victory insofar as we finally got together on something, made our voices heard, and they said, whoa, we just got informed of this and realized that. Well, let's backpedal. They backpedal. That's good. But if we could get more people involved, we might see Public Act. Just making this up. Public Act 373 hereby repeals. Just think about how beautiful that would be. You don't need anything else. Public Act 372 of 1927 is hereby repealed in its entirety. Just period. End of story. Well, hold on to AEDU. Someone's saying we could never, ever, ever have a law like that. Well, yeah, as long as it's not the will of the people. I'll tell you how you could get a law like that, actually. You get a majority of people in the Michigan House and Michigan Senate who actually believe in the Second Amendment and will actually honor their oath to defend it. So check. Get a governor in that believes in honoring their oath and will actually believe in defending it. And then you have one of your representatives in the House write a bill that says one sentence, like I just said. And then you have one in the Senate do it. And then you have one of the people that runs the committees bring it up for committee in each chamber, pass it through committee, put it on the floor of the House. The majority just has to follow their oath and vote for it. So would the same in the Senate. Then the governor would sign it. That's literally how you could pass an act that says Act 372 of 1927 is hereby repealed in its entirety. See, what I'm trying to tell you guys is you repeal gun control in the same way they pass it. The problem is they do a lot better job promoting gun control than we do abolishing it. But I have a little bit of a smile on my face because a lot of you guys made your voices heard. I don't know which ones in particular it was, but I know it was some of you. There was a lot of you, actually. What's up, Iron Horseman? What's up, G23? Chanzig, how's it going, man? What's up? There was a big earthquake. Ooh, hopefully everybody's okay. That sounds tragic. I'm not familiar with that. MF James, special election updates. Okay, you asked that question a few minutes ago. We have a candidate right here, and he's actually in the chat. Joshua Powell. He is the candidate for, I would say, the most important race in the special election, meaning our highest likelihood of winning. Maybe barely. Now, I don't say that because I don't have confidence in Joshua Powell. I actually literally just talked to him about the Second Amendment on the phone about an hour ago. I'm being serious. Like, when there's a candidate or a sitting representative, I talk to these people about the Second Amendment a lot. So he's a good one, but he's in an area that's heavily, heavily Democrat. Has been a long time, but it's going to be really close because it's a special election and special elections can do weird things. So if there's even one person watching right now that even knows one person that is in the district that Joshua Powell's running for, that you have a special election on April 16th, if you can just get that one or two or three family members or coworkers out to those polls, guys. I know you think you're wasting your time, and I know most of you have questions about elections. I have all of the questions and concerns you do. Trust me. But, guys, it's going to be really, really close. I'm going to be confident and say the future representative, Joshua Powell, but I need to be honest with you guys. This is not like he's just going to win. This is like he has a chance. He has a very good chance, but gosh, I just hope there's one person watching right now that can go and vote in that special election and talk 2 or 3 people into it, because this might be decided by like a couple dozen people. So if you have any updates, Josh, I've had a couple people asking me that they want updates on the Michigan special election, and we actually have the candidate for that election right here. Like, you can't even make this up. So if you have any word for the people, I don't know any polling numbers, guys. This is all like, these special elections are a really, really weird thing. What's happening, Tree Guy? Nice to see you, man. I haven't seen you in a long time, dude. I hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing good, man. Let me know how you're doing. I'll read all this chat afterwards, just like I did last night afterwards. I was up late reading the chat. That's why I wanted to do this update tonight. I'm just here talking to you guys at this point. We broke the news. I always get these comments the next day. Why did it take him so long? It's like, dude, I broke the news like in the first 5 minutes. Breaking news. And by the way, when this is done, I am going to put a link to that updated Facebook post, so you guys can just follow me on Facebook. You'll see Joshua Powell right in my comments down there. So you can follow his place, his Facebook page, rather. So you can see what events he's holding, what he's doing. Super, super huge. And like, huge is the understatement of the century. Special election going on right now. You guys know the Michigan House of Representatives is tied, right? It's 50-50 Democrats and Republicans. That's scary, because sometimes even Republicans vote for gun control. But this here, like, I don't want to be doom and gloom, but I can pretty much guarantee you guys that I'm going to be here at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, because that's when they were passing gun control just this last fall. Remember that? Telling you guys, look, they've just passed the Michigan magazine limit ban at 1 in the morning in the Michigan House. But be on here at 2 in the morning another night. Like, if you guys are new to the channel, welcome. And thanks for being here. Consider subscribing. We do all kinds of fun stuff over here. But look, 2 in the morning, I'm going to be on here saying, guys, the Michigan assault weapons ban has just advanced. Like, I know these bills are out there. I've literally seen them myself. Like, it's not good. I don't want to put this much pressure on the guy. He's working his butt off, talking about the Second Amendment and Second Amendment strategy with people like me at 10 at night. He'd probably rather be, I don't know, playing with his dog or hanging out with his girlfriend because she's really cool and like stuff like that. But instead, he's talking Second Amendment stuff, and he's up at the city council meeting in Wayne. He's fighting as hard as he can, and I don't want to put this much pressure on the guy's shoulders, but if Josh Powell doesn't win here in 2 weeks, we're in big trouble. More trouble than... Look, guys, I want to be in a good mood tonight because we all got together, and we made a little bit of a change in the court of public opinion. And I do want to give all of you guys a... little, I'm serious though. I'm not, look guys, we can chew gum and walk at the same time, right? We're not happy that they're still doing permits at all. We're not happy that they're doing them 4 days a week, but enough of you guys, look, you just have to show yourself that by you getting involved just a little bit, you can make a little bit of a change. And that's why I wanted to come on here tonight, to be like, okay, so if more of us keep getting involved a lot, we can make a lot of bit of a change. Now, I realize all of my audience isn't from Michigan, but I hope everyone who's watching right now or tomorrow on replay can just transpose your hometown and your state into this, because this is the strategy and the encouragement I want to give everybody in the United States of America. And heck, if people are watching from other countries, I want to encourage you too. I have to put America first and my state of Michigan first, because that's just how it is right now. But even people from other countries, I send you guys best wishes and hope you guys can win the culture war where you're at right now. What's happening, Dale? Yeah, the real fix, he's saying, is to do away with purchase permits entirely. He's like, we have to thank them and ask for more. There's something to what Josh just said there. This is just how this crap works, whether you guys like it or not. Look what the other side does. They say we just need to pass universal background checks, permit scheme, licensing, registration, confiscation. Come on, that's obviously what it is. Safe storage, quote unquote, making it safer for the criminal. Red flag laws, redefining what it means. What it means to domestic violence, to be a domestic violence offender, like even nonviolent crimes now will put you in that and make you a prohibited person for 8 years. This is what the left does. They say we need these laws to pass, and then they get them passed and they say thank you. Now none of that's not good enough. Now we need this, and then they pass that and they say but that's not good enough. Now we need that. I'm not saying we should act like the left and the other side or whatever you want to call them like they do. But as far as this goes, we actually do need to start being more this way. Where, all right, repeal this. Thank you very much. That's nothing. Now repeal this. Thank you very much. But that's nothing. We haven't started yet. Now repeal that. Does anyone agree with me? Like, that's what's actually effective. Thank you, sir. Thank you for listening to us. Who cares what you did yesterday? Now what are you going to do for me for today? Now repeal more. Well, thank you. Now repeal more. I mean, that's actually the strategy. I know what Josh is saying there, because I know there's someone that read what he just typed and said, what do you mean thank them? No, guys, this is just the way it works. Look, I don't want the Second Amendment to be political at all. Get your stupid politics, get everyone's politics out of my natural God-given rights. I know that's how most of you feel too, and you just want to be left alone. But they have made this political, and the other side has made this political. So we need to keep having culture war victories, victories in the court of public opinion. We had a small victory in the court of public opinion yesterday. Look, guys, I'm not in the legislature. I can't go vote on gun control bills, but I can make my voice heard, and so can you. And we did get some legislators' ears. Trust me. There was lots of conversations being had today all over the place with all kinds of people. I can assure you of that. Yeah, if you only attack, look, guys, thank you. Thank you for repealing that gun control law. All right, now let's repeal the next one. With a smile on your face, because that's what they do when they keep passing. There's a time we've all read, or at least anyone that watches this channel that pays attention to my live streams, I read the Tree of Liberty letter from Thomas Jefferson. And founding fathers like Thomas Jefferson did say there's a time for that, but not now. And I hope we don't get to that time, because when it's like really, really hard to get the 2A community to even all write a letter on the same date or show up to a rally, our rallies are abysmal, guys. We have nobody that'll even show up. I don't want to say literally nobody, but virtually nobody even shows up to Second Amendment rallies anymore in Michigan. Watching how the attendance is at those, we've had a couple good ones here and there. Shout out to the people that have done that, but when you can only get maybe 50 or 80 or a couple hundred people at a Second Amendment rally, I don't think people are really in the spirit that the founding fathers were back in 1775. I'll just say that. So you got to think about that stuff once in a while. Just taking a quick look at the chat here. You guys are talking about all kinds of stuff, which is cool. What's up, Harry Gremley? Nice to see you, man. Yeah, the Michigan House and Senate was dominated by Republicans for a long time, and they did nothing. Virtually nothing, yes. I know. Very, very frustrating. But look what the Democrats did when they got power for the first time in 40 years. Didn't take them long. What else do you guys think about this? I'm way behind in the chat. Joshua Powell says, in my opinion, I just mean we have to acknowledge they backed off and thank them and then explain to them why it's not enough. Yeah. I didn't even read what you had said, but I think we're kind of on the same page with that. Yeah, Jane Locke's like, I'm pretty sure the city attorney said something like, it's not a good look for the city of Wayne to be in violation of state law and try to enforce laws. That could be very possible. I mean, I don't know exactly what was said behind closed doors, but that could be very possible. I agree with that. Joshua Powell with a super chat. Thanks, man. I appreciate it, dude. He says, we want a skirmish, not the war or even a battle, but we want a skirmish. Imagine what we can do with myself and Rep Thompson and Lansing. Gosh, man. Does anyone live in his area for the special election? Let me know. Do you guys know anybody that does? I do, for example. I know a few people that live there, and I've been talking to them. Thanks for the support. I appreciate it. Let me get caught back on the chat because I'm way behind. What's up, James Stacy? Nice to see you. Yeah, man, it's been a while. It's been a while for a few of you guys that are in here tonight. Geez, people asking me tough questions. I don't know if this is supposed to be a gotcha or not, or if you're new to the channel. If you're new, welcome. I thought I recognized your name, but you must be new. See, there's a couple easy questions that I get because I've answered them many times, but I'll answer that. But first, let me answer the easiest question I get. People say, 2A EDU, why do you call Biden the current former vice president? And I'm like, that's a great question. And I love that question. I call him the former vice president because he is the current former vice president. So that's the easiest question I get. This one here looks like I'm caught in a trap, guys, because this is kind of like the same question that the left will ask when the left comes in. This is starting to remind me of like a leftist Facebook thing right now. And I'm not accusing what's up of that. I'm just saying this is one of those questions that like, I've got you. It ain't my first rodeo, kid, because actually I've answered this many, many times. They'll say, do you think that people should be able to own a nuke? This is one of those questions. He says, do you believe murderers and rapists should be able to possess a firearm? Well, that's actually not a good question to ask because here's how it goes down. Okay. You can be deprived property and you can be deprived the free exercise of your rights through due process of law. And that's outlined in the Bill of Rights. So if somebody's been duly convicted, and I know we do have a Department of Injustice, but the justice system needs a lot of reform too. But let's go back to what the founding fathers would do with something like this. Through due process of law, you're incarcerated for a crime of murder. I think murder is bad. You don't have the right to murder people. I think almost anyone would agree on that, actually. So that's a good baseline. Bad. Okay. Through due process of law, you get duly convicted. While you're in prison, you can be disarmed. If your crime is so bad that you will never be able to be set free, like if we set him free, we know for a fact he's going to murder again. Let's just say that was a plausible scenario, and sometimes it is. Well, that's why we had capital punishment for so many years. I don't like capital punishment in some ways because I believe that I'm probably more on the numbers that 1,000 guilty people should be set free before one person should be falsely incarcerated and deprived of their rights falsely. So we have to err on the side of freedom and liberty also. But look, if they're too dangerous to own a gun, they're too dangerous to be among us. Capital punishment is one solution for that. Another solution for that is lock them up and throw away the key. So my answer to that question is this. Whether it's murder, whether it's rape, whatever abhorrent thing you could think of, more people are killed with hands and feet every year, according to FBI statistics, than these so-called, and I'm using air quotes, assault rifles that they've deemed under certain acts of legislation in the past and presently in some states. Yeah, think about that. So if they're too dangerous, to own a gun, then they're too dangerous to be among us. That's my answer to that question. There you go. It's actually like a really easy question. I know it's supposed to be like the biggest gotcha ever. No, if they're too dangerous to be among us, why are they among us? Like, that's literally it. Because just keep in mind, it's not even a legit question to ask, though, actually. Like, the whole question's nonsensical, really. Should they be able to keep and bear arms? Does it even matter? Do you guys really think criminals follow law? Oh, he's hell-bent to murder people. Do you think he's going to follow the background check law? Do you think he's going to care about the prohibited person law? Do you think he's going to care about the sign that says no guns allowed? No. Criminals don't follow laws. They never, ever do. That's why every gun control law is complete and utter hyperbole, and there are very, very evil people on this earth. Obviously, everybody's not a good person. There's people that are sick, twisted, and demented. Why are they among us? Because they shouldn't even be among us in society to even be asking these types of questions, right? Wild One says, look at what we accomplished in 24 hours. We can do this. Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, because we want to skirmish. I mean, we can be happy for like a few minutes now and again, while generally still pretty darn ticked off at everything, right? See, okay, Mr. Pac-Man's in Wayne. All right, there we go. Hopefully you're aware of this special election, and hopefully you're raising awareness as much as you can. The Michigan House of Representatives is tied 50-50 right now. Okay. Okay, Dale's girls went to John Glenn. You still have ties in the area, probably, right? So get to doing some talking, Dale, and I know I don't need to encourage you to do that. I know you're already on it. Yeah, Jane, I know. I've been to a lot of those rallies with you. Bless your heart. I've seen you there many times. She says when there's a Second Amendment rally that tens of thousands of gun owners showed up, then the government might notice. But nobody goes to the rallies and we get screwed by gun grabbers. Yeah, I know. Yep. Yep, they get in charge and we get screwed. And then usually the Republicans come in and don't do a darn thing. Yeah. I know. I support Second Amendment supporters. Okay, that's who I support. I don't care about their color or their letters. Like, I'm not into all these colors and letters, R's and D's and blues and reds. And if you're a Second Amendment supporter and defender, we're good. If not, we're not good. Josh says if he wins on April 16th, he'd be happy to be a sponsor of that bill. See, there you guys go. I'm way behind in the chat right now. We're talking Michigan's 25th district, all of the city of Wayne, most of Westland, a quarter of Canton, and a very small portion of Dearborn Heights. But there's some of you guys out there in Dearborn Heights right now. There she is. Oh, look at Dawn Asper, one of my favorite county commissioners. Speaking of stuff on a grassroots level, I was just talking to my favorite state representative about you the other day, Dawn, in a good way. She says, we have a group from Monroe County Republican Party heading up Saturday who will be knocking 500 doors for Josh along with Rep. Jim DeSena. Awesome. Thank you, Don. I'm glad to hear that. He needs some support. He needs some grassroots support. And Jim DeSena, who I know very well, whose office is like right next door to my state representative, Jamie Thompson in Lansing. Jim is very, very staunchly defending the Second Amendment in Lansing. So that's awesome. Yeah. When it comes to Representative DeSena, very good on the Second Amendment. Hey, and he's even called out some of the establishment in Lansing. This is back to where we go to like that just because there's an R. And I did a video on that. If you guys want to go back and look, when Jim DeSena called out some of the establishment Republicans and said, no, you voted for gun control. Not acceptable. Yeah, man. Look, guys, this is grassroots right now, what we're talking about. This is what grassroots means. Like, is there 2 or 3 people in this chat that are in Josh Powell's district? I think we've already seen that. And if each of the 2 or 3 of you guys can get a hold of at least a couple people, more like get a hold of like 10 people, you know, at least, you know what I mean? Strange stuff can happen in special elections. Very strange stuff. I don't have any money. I can't donate $1 billion to help with this campaign. I don't have super PACs, but I do have a computer and a microphone and a webcam, and I'm sitting in my messy landscape shop, so I'm giving it all I got here. And this is for everybody. This isn't even just for Michigan, guys. Literally, where Michigan goes is the way a lot of the country's going to go, because Michigan's a swing state. They already know that they have California. They already know they have New York, New Jersey. Like, they know they've got it. Now, God bless everybody that lives there. Do not give up, guys. Keep fighting the good fight. I pray for all of you behind those enemy lines every day. I really do. But they know they've already got that. Michigan, they're like, do we have it or not? They think they've got us. Dude, if they take Michigan, that's going to empower a bunch of other states. Pennsylvania. I was just talking about you guys the other day. I hope some of you guys that don't even live in Michigan can go over to Josh Powell's page and give him some kind of support, however you can, to help him out. There's many ways you can support, but look, Pennsylvania, you guys are right on the edge right now. Virginia, you're right on the edge right now. This stuff all seems like it's so compartmentalized, but at the end of the day, it's all the same thing all over again. It's the battle of good versus evil, and yeah. MH says campaigns are hard work, and he's running in November too. Help the guy out. Dude, guys, campaigns are super hard work. Look, clearly I have to be politically involved because the other side has made the Second Amendment political. You know what I want? I want to never even have to come here again and just shut this channel down the day that the Second Amendment has zero politics in it. That's actually what I want more than anything. I don't want to run for office. I actually don't even really like politics at all. But I love our natural God-given rights, and look, we have a republic if we can keep it. Like Ben Franklin said, and when you have a representative constitutional republic, you need to talk to people in your township, in your city, in your county. I mean, we have a county commissioner in here right now, and she's a really good one. There might be a state rep or two watching right now. That's what this means, though, guys. Look, if you want to have a government that operates at the consent of the governed, you actually have to be active and be vocal and let them know what you expect, what you demand. And I think demanding that they follow the Constitution is always okay. You never, ever need to apologize for demanding that any public servant follows the Constitution. That should be the baseline. That should be the stuff we don't even have to debate. We shouldn't even be debating gun control. But here's the problem. When good people do nothing, that's when evil prevails. And that's implied consent. Now, I know you guys are involved. You're up late at night, and we're all brainstorming and having a great old time here in the chat and talking. And I really appreciate the dialogue with all of you good people. That's why I'm here right now. But I know you have friends and family and neighbors. When you go to the gun range, 90% of those people are just doing nothing. I think it was pretty cool to get the police to backtrack on their policy within 24 hours. I think we should be happy about that right now, while still not happy with the underlying problems that these gun control laws even exist. I need to catch up on the chat because I thought there was nobody in here watching because it's so late, but there actually are. And then I'm going to jump off in just a second. Jim Jones says, thanks, 2A, for your efforts to keep us informed. It's a lot of work and it's appreciated. Well, thank you. And it is a lot of work. And I'm obviously extremely passionate about this topic. Well, obviously. Someone's like, dude, duh. I mean, well, yeah. You got to have a little fun with this stuff. What's up, Gail? How you doing? She says, I agree. We need to act more like the left. This is war. It's our freedoms. We have to stand up for. I'm always contacting my legislators. It's easy. Look, some of the strategies of the left, actually, they're getting a lot of results with, but let's not be classless and rude and just nasty people. I've seen a lot of that. I've seen a lot of that in the gun control movement from the left. So we're going to keep all of our good traits, right? That's what we need to do because good is what we need to win. That's the main goal here. But we just need to be more, thank you. Now we demand more. Oh, thank you very much. Next. I mean, there's plenty of them. There's plenty of unconstitutional gun laws to repeal. We won't run out of any of that for any time soon, but we need to run out. Yeah, some active engagement is required by we the people. We can't expect the government to act in our best interest without it, unfortunately. Well, look, go back to the Declaration of Independence. The governments would be instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. It's all laid out. I believe the Holy Bible is the most beautiful document out there. That's my favorite one. Second to that, the Declaration of Independence. It's just so powerful. It's so wise and it's so smart. And if every good American would just read the darn thing and just follow the prescription there, we would have the greatest experiment on self-governance of all time. And that's exactly what the United States of America was. And that's what it's supposed to be. And it's not that way right now in many, many instances, but just keep remembering that. Governments, they're supposed to be instituted among men, just regular people like you, regular people like me. Government has no rights. You're the only people who have rights, but governments are to derive their just powers from the consent of the governed. And we're supposed to put in a government that me and you, right? That me and you think will be most likely to affect our safety and happiness. And then it talks about the long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably a design that reduces us under absolute despotism. Then it's your right and it's your duty to throw off this tyrannical government and to form a new government. That doesn't mean we need to completely abolish the United States of America and move to Canada. That's probably a really bad idea. But it means if we have representatives who don't have your consent, this applies to people on your school board, your township trustees, your county board of commissioners, your Michigan representative senator. If they no longer have your consent, it's time to say you're fired. Get out of our way. We have important things to accomplish, like upholding the Constitution. And that's the attitude I'd like to see a lot more people have in the state of Michigan and, quite frankly, throughout all 50 states. Look at this. Good people talking in the chat. I like this. I like this a lot, actually. If you guys want to say hi, it's probably almost past their bedtime, but we have an excellent county commissioner here. Monroe County, Dawn Asper. If you guys want to know anything about local government, she's a good one to ask. She was one of the main ones. Look, all of them ended up voting for it, but I met a guy named Greg Moore Jr. was the first guy I met for the Sanctuary County movement in Michigan. Talked to Greg, and it was like a short time after that I met Dawn, and in my opinion, and I'm not trying to take any credit away from your colleagues, Dawn, but it just seemed like to me you and Greg were the two that were kind of just spearheading that 2A sanctuary movement in Michigan. And I actually want to talk to you and Greg and a couple people soon, Dawn, about let's see what Heath Monroe County commissioners can maybe put on a few things, that laws that have been passed that has to do with the local sheriff's department and such. And we'll talk about some stuff offline too, because I don't want to spend everyone's time just talking to you personally, but I might have to go to a county commissioners meeting soon, guys, because I do have a couple concerns about in my hometown. I don't have any concerns with Dawn. I'm just saying I might have a couple concerns right now. That's what we should do. That's how we always need to think. What's happening, Gort? Nice to see you, man. You used to live and work in Josh's district, Canton and Westland, but that was 40 years ago. Wow. I don't know if you have time to still move back up here to get your vote in. No, he's like, I wonder how many dead people are going to vote for, how many dead people are going to vote for Josh Powell or his opponent? You know that whole thing, right? He was a Republican his whole life until the day he died. Now he's been doing nothing but voting Democrat. What I hope the cemetery vote doesn't turn out too much for this election, because that's not going to be good. Watch the cemeteries, guys. When you see all the zombies, watch the cemeteries and the like the dog pound, the Humane Society. you guys do know, I've told you this, right? I have a friend who's now received ballots for pets and all of their adult kids that used to live at home but don't live at home anymore, who are actually voting in other states. No, like, you can't make this up. Receiving ballots for pets, dead people, and adult children who haven't lived in the state of Michigan for years, and they're voting in other states. But dude, you can't, like, again, I wish I could make this up. He shows me a stack of ballots that thick. He's like, could you imagine if I was the type of guy that would just fill these out? My friend's not going to fill them out. I mean, I'm sure him and his wife are going to, like the two people that actually live in this house. The two living people that actually live in this house, I'm sure they'll vote. But this dude literally has like over, I don't know, it's a dozen, 2 dozen. I can't even remember. But this huge stack of ballots that are just sent out. And they're like, oh, dog, cat, dog that's not even alive anymore, dead relatives. Like, what? Adult children that no longer live in the state? Don't even have driver's licenses in the state anymore? Like, wow. I mean, we need to talk about this stuff. I get it, guys. A lot of you guys are real frustrated. Sean Zimmerman. Okay, this is a perfect example. There's a link down there in the description for my locals community, okay, and also to Myriad Social. I literally just posted a video to locals and Myriad with me shooting guns like a couple days ago. We're on YouTube right now, okay? I can't touch guns anymore on here, man. I don't know where you've been. For the first couple years of this channel, I would show firearms and live streams. Dude, I would sit there and pull like 10 guns out and we go through this whole history lesson and I'd show you the nuances. That's against YouTube rules. If I were to even touch one right now or lay my hands on one, they would not only end this stream instantly, but my account like could be in jeopardy and terminated. So, you know, that's not a good message for me at all, my man. But yes, I am still doing tons of firearms content. And you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink, man. I literally tell you guys every live stream I do, check out my locals community. It's a different site, censorship free, where I do a bonus live stream every Saturday, where I literally hold up guns like crazy while I'm live and do Q&As. Also, Myriad Social, which is a newer site that I'm just now starting to post to, and so check it out, man. But I'm glad you brought that up for people who ask questions that I have no authority to answer at all because I don't make the rules on YouTube. And it's the second largest search engine, and it has many, many restrictions. And about some of the most important topics, I have to speak to you guys in code because if I haven't told you half of what was on my mind, I'd be nuked and terminated from here in 30 seconds flat. So we can flip Canada if we all move there all at once. I don't know about that, man. We're having a hard time keeping up with it here in the United States in a lot of places. Jim's asking me, can people still carry in Michigan if they live in different states? Yeah, I don't see anything that's changed as far as reciprocity. I haven't seen any changes with that. I hate to give people legal advice, but so not legal advice. I haven't seen anything change with any type of carry permit reciprocity. Michigan's an open carry state per se still with some restrictions. So keep that in mind. But I've not seen anything change with reciprocity laws as far as that goes. That's probably on their list, though. Don't sleep on that too much. Yeah, freedom isn't free. Completely. I agree. Freedom is not free. Yeah. Yeah, I hear you, MH. We're thankful Josh put himself out there and turned his life upside down to help protect our rights here in Michigan. And I don't envy having your life turned around, but I appreciate it. I do. I think I know who you are too, MH, but I don't use real names in case you're using that as a code and don't want to. You know what I'm saying? But if you're who I think you are, hello. Let's see here. Wild One says, I had a neighbor that received several ballots. She's elderly, filled them out because she thought maybe her ballot was lost. I found out last summer. That doesn't surprise me. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Jane Locke saying, my youngest son received 8 absentee ballot applications in Berkeley. He's in a rental house and got applications for all the previous renters. Jeez, oh Pete. Wow. Harry Grimley. To be fair, my lab's smarter than half the people who vote in my hometown. For anyone just joining, just rewind right back to the beginning. I'm just hanging out with a few people right now. We already broke the news of how we did make that change. I mean, little victory maybe, right? But we're still not happy with everything else. Sean Zimmerman, I wanted to know what you like better. AR-15 piston, uppers, spear, 416 scar, etc. Not show anything. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. You can ask me questions like that. I just didn't know what you meant earlier. Why can't it be this like it used to be? I don't know, because we're talking about other stuff. Let's see here. My favorite piston gun is probably an AK. I'm way more of an AK guy. I've never had a spear or a 416 or a scar. So, never owned any of those. So, I don't think I can actually answer your question very well, to be honest. Yeah, I can't answer the question. Sorry, man. Like, I don't have that kind of money for those guns, to be quite honest. You just listed like $10,000 in guns right there. So no, I don't own those guns, man. I'm sorry. Because I was looking forward to answering a gun question. Like I really was. I just don't have those guns. So I don't really know much about them. What's happening, Anne Marie? All right, did you guys have any last minute questions or want to throw anything out there? It is about midnight, and I am going to jump off. I hope you're having a good night, Ryan Finney. What's happening, Logic's View? If you want to know about the breaking news, I'll tell you guys a real quick wrap up that just came in. That whole thing yesterday. You'd have to watch the video from yesterday. I'm not going to rehash all of it, but the city of Wayne had said, we're just going to give out these permits pursuant to this new law on Wednesdays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. I got on here, helped raise awareness. You guys did a lot of work and started talking to people. I was talking to people yesterday, all day today, and speak of the devil, they came out. I'll show you guys this real quick here. We'll share my screen. This is on Facebook. If you guys want to follow my Facebook page, you can, because that's where a lot of this stuff happens. This is where you have all your different official city pages and all that. Well, the old post is gone now. They got rid of it. And now they've come out and said thank you to everyone for their feedback regarding gun permit processing. Gun permits will now be processed Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. I'm not happy that they're still processing gun permits because I'm not happy that we have to get a gun permit. That's crazy. But I am kind of encouraged, and I think it's pretty cool that a lot of people like you guys, got involved for once in one thing and changed it just like that. I do kind of like that. Now, here's my 2A EDU page. There's also a 2A EDU group. So welcome to all the people over there. The group is where you guys can post stuff in the 2A EDU group. It's a private group. I approved about 5 or 6 requests right before I came online. And here's the 2A EDU page. Here's my second most recent post. If any of you guys are around southeastern Michigan, this is at Frenchtown Township. Event by State Representative Jamie Thompson. It's a public event that anybody can go to, and she's going to be there talking about issues in the community. And that's a place that you can talk to your state representative. So that's pretty cool. And I try to share stuff like that and other cool stuff. Here's the event that I'm speaking at in Grand Traverse County coming up here April 19th. That's going to be cool. I'm opening up for, however you want to word it, Captain Seth Cashel. So I want to thank the Grand Traverse County Republican Party for inviting me to come speak at that. Pete Van Dyken, who I was texting earlier about Second Amendment issues. And all of you guys from Grand Traverse County. Look, I'm kind of afraid of public speaking and kind of have stage fright a little bit, guys. So that part, but I'm looking forward to going up there to meet a whole bunch of cool people. Because every time I go to like a 2A event, man, like literally, we were talking about County Commissioner Don Asper earlier, who was in the chat. Going to those meetings, county commissioners meetings that they were having back then, like 4 years ago, dude, I still have friends today because of that. Like literally, you can't even make this up. Guy named Ricky, who's a regular here on YouTube. He's one of the admins of my Facebook group. Just hung out with him at the 2A EDU hangout at Pillbox Bunker's house in Michigan this year, right? Third one that we've done in a row, and I'm hoping we can do another one this fall. He was at the hangout. Like, I'm not joking, guys. Look at my friend Rob from 2A Patriot, my friend Rick Nieper, who I hung out with a couple weeks ago. I'm going to be also speaking at the 2A Patriot 2A days that's coming up, and I'm going to be sharing their flyer soon. Like, and other people. Like, that's just a few of them. Like, I still literally have friends, like, right now that I met going to county commissioners meetings. Can you guys even believe that? So it's not all just like it sucks and you always have to compromise and just sacrifice. No, like I literally have real life friends from going to these events. What's your favorite EDC? Well, actually, that's an interesting question because I really like the Taurus GX4 9mm. I don't just have one EDC, guys. Sometimes I actually carry two at once. Once in a while, even three, actually. But I really like that. I also like the Ruger LCP Max 380, which I have shot, and I do want to get a review video out on that pistol. So those are two really nice ones that I like quite a bit. So right now, if you're talking EDC, like smaller pistols like that, yes. Dude, I like the PSA Dagger a lot, too. I want to get a micro dagger so bad. I went down to the PSA The Gathering event just last week, and I got to shoot the dagger, the micro dagger, for the first time. Go check my locals community and my Myriad social profile, which the links to Myriad and locals are right down there in the description. And you guys can actually like literally see me shooting that pistol for the very first time. I really want one of those. Like that might be one of my favorite EDCs. I just don't own one yet. Sometimes I carry an AK-47. So there you go. Yeah, if you guys want to have a conversation about the piston guns, please do. It's good conversation. I just literally don't own any of those guns, man. I wish I did. I shot a Scar Heavy like once, but just shooting it, it's hard to really, you know what I mean. What's happening, Howard Strait? Hey, 2A EDU. Wasn't for you, I wouldn't own any G3 or G3C. Wonderful pistols. Oh, I really like the G3C and G3. The GX4 is kind of one out for concealed carry for me. Taurus GX4 XL. Oh, yeah. Heck yeah. Man, there's something about that little Ruger LCP Max, though. There's just something about that little pistol. And I want that micro dagger so bad. Huh. I should become a lobbyist or something so I can come into a bunch of money so I can just buy some of these things that I want. You guys are making me want some new guns. Anne Marie says, 2A, I'm your Michigan supporter from Massachusetts. Well, thank you. I appreciate you, Anne. Always good to have friends in high places, low places, and even massholes, right? I know that's not a term of affection, but What's happening, man? You know I'm joking with you. My buddy Shooting Gallery, who was from who's from Massachusetts. He lives in Florida now, but that's what I always called him, as a masshole. And Guns and Gadgets too. Jared moved to Tennessee. Joe moved to Florida. Where should I move, guys? Do you want me to stay in Michigan or maybe South Carolina? If I could move a little closer to Palmetto State Armory, which I'm a huge fan of, like, I just love that company so much. I love their products, right? Like, but the products, the company, everyone I know that works there, which I couldn't possibly know everybody that works there, but I know many people that do because I've been to their facilities many times. But man, if I lived a little closer to PSA, I could probably get into a micro dagger easier because I can save on shipping and just go to the store. You know what I mean? What do you guys think? Where should I move to? Or do I have to stay here? Do I have to stay here? Tennessee Nate says, I have a channel. I love your information. Well, shout out, man, and good luck to your channel. It's not easy to have a channel on YouTube, actually. You guys are like, yeah, I know. We see you struggling every day. No, it's not the most friendly place for the stuff we do, to be fair. Well, we the people need to start fixing stuff, man. That's what this country's supposed to be all about, Smoking Joe. Cool. So you guys are having a little talk about those guns. If anyone else knows about them, definitely chime in. What's up, Robert Chase? Thanks, man. And you're welcome. I'm just trying to get the news out, and now we're just kind of talking. That's what I do. Logic's View says, I'm going to try to be there. Yeah, man, that'd be cool. Yeah, I'm posting these different events, and dude, like, it's cool. It's so cool. Like, just to have people in the chat right now just talking about stuff. This is what I like. I really think I did. Tell me, guys, if I did or not. I think I did a good job this stream giving the updated breaking news right away. And now we're just talking, but I like this. This is good because you guys are like real people, obviously. And then you go to these events. You don't have to live in Michigan. I'm talking wherever you guys live. And then when you can actually see people and shake their hand and walk around with them and talk, then it even like gives you a little more confidence because nobody wants to feel like they're alone. That's terrible. And that's why I like hearing you guys talking about, like, yeah, man, let's share and let's talk about things because we need to get together. We need to get together on a lot of things. Now, BRN Upper, hold on. I can talk about this, Sean Zimmerman, and I did a video on my channel when they first launched it. The PSA Jackal. I really like shooting that firearm. That's a piston upper. I do like the Jackal. Gosh, that Jackal was so smooth. Like, wow, was it smooth. So there you go. Big fan of the PSA Jackal. I like it a lot. What's happening, A-Star? Says Grand Traverse. Looking forward to seeing you. Heck yeah, man. Shout out to Grand Traverse County. And geez, don't say that. Now you're making me even more nervous to get up there and speak in front of you guys. I'll be all right. I'm not totally joking, though. I do kind of have stage fright, guys. When I spoke in front of when I spoke in front of a crowd there, when I was opening for Kyle Rittenhouse, right, at the rally this summer, I was so nervous. And my friend Tammy Clark was back there. Some of you guys might know her. She's a big freedom fighter in Michigan and a wonderful lady. I like her a lot. And she gave me like this little pep talk. I'm like, all right, I can do it, I guess. She's like, dude, you've had videos with like tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of views. Why are you? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'm just the guy that sits in my shop. But I'm definitely looking forward to going up to Grand Traverse County to see you guys. Okay. Ooh, anime rap on a high point. I do have a couple high point carbines and pistols. I get it. Don Asper says, hoping people will get behind Andrew Fink for Supreme Court. Take the time to vote all the way down the ballot. That's where it's important. Andrew Fink is currently a Michigan representative, and would probably be a good choice. Look, even the Supreme Court has gone liberal as of recent elections. So, yeah. I was actually talking to Andrew Fink in I guess you call it a conference call briefly about one of the gun control laws, and he's a staunch supporter of the Second Amendment. So, yes, definitely pay attention to Supreme Court justices. She says LMAO, yes. Yeah. Well, it is what it is. I've been told by people that lived in Massachusetts it's not a term of affection, but it kind of is too. It's just one of those kind of, something like that. Wire One just signed up on the site. Right on. Does that count, Sean? The jackal, the PSA jackal. I can kind of enter the conversation with you guys on that a little bit. Most of my piston guns are AKs, though. Let's see here. Robert Chase says I'm stuck here. Like I am. Oh, man. I thought you guys were going to tell me which one to move to. I thought you guys were all going to come and say, South Carolina welcomes you, where it doesn't snow much at all. Oh, man. Good night, Smoking Joe. And thanks for the good wishes. Okay, hold on. I'm going to read through this chat, then I got to jump off for real. Jim Jones says, you can't move. We need you. Well, I could talk from a different shop in the hills somewhere down south, couldn't I? A-Star says, stay in Michigan. If you leave, you'll regret it. Oh, man, there are a lot of good people here, though. Man, there are some good people here. But we're going to have to put up a poll one of these days. I think I did that last year. I was in South Carolina. And I'm like, should I stay? Or should I come back home? And I think by one vote, you guys told me I had to come back home. And then my wife called and said, I vote that you come home. So I was like, well, we'll come home. You know what I mean? Nah, I came home. I am going to be hanging out in Knoxville, Tennessee, coming up in a couple months. See, I get around a little bit. I like to hang out with my Southern friends. I guess that's what I'll do. That's what I'll do. And that's why, again, the more you guys support the channel, the more I can do. But look, I'll just stay in Michigan, but then go speak at or attend 25 2A events a year so I can still be all over the country constantly. Kind of I'll be in jail, but on work release. Does that make sense? I'll have work release where I can go down to, because I already have an event I'm planning on going to. Well, we've got up north of Michigan here, Grand Traverse. That's coming up in 2 weeks. Check out my community post. Then we've got the 2A days, which is just a month after that. We're going to have a really cool event at an LGS in Newport coming up, April 29th, that you guys are going to really, really, really want to go to if you're in driving distance. Okay, this is going to be in Newport, Michigan, and it has to do with ammo. And I'll be able to talk about that more on other sites because you can't actually talk about promoting stuff like that here. But that's going to be a really cool event. We got the 2A days coming up. And then there's an event going on in Knoxville, Tennessee that I'm going to be having a guest to come on and talk about. Jamie Thompson has an event this Friday. Let me think of what else. Then in October, I'm going to try to make my way down to Georgia, the very 1st of October. So, yeah, we'll cover some bases here. Cool. Thanks, Sean. Forgot about the jackal. He says, you did great. I appreciate your channel. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate the community like Anne-Marie. You know what I mean? That's what I appreciate. Logic's View giving us some stay strong encouragement. See, they wanted to put the 2A EDU bicep flex into an emoji. Google told me they were trying to do it, but they said we can't do it. It's too big. It won't fit. It won't fit in one line of text. So that's why I tried to make it where, you know what I'm saying, guys. See how he's flexing there in the things? They couldn't put the 2-way EDU flex into an emoji. We tried. They said it'll take up too many lines of characters in the chat. So I can't do it, or I would have broke YouTube servers. All right, good night, Dale. Good night, Bill. Harry, Jim. We got another Dale. I don't know if Trump will ever apologize. I hope he will. I hope he will. We've talked about that a lot, but it is way too late to get into the whole bump stop topic right now. So good night, Timothy McGee. Take it easy, guys. All right, well, a little bit of good news. I want you guys to have positive energy and still be pissed off at all this gun control because it's not okay, but let's have a little positive energy because I think we won a small little skirmish in the last 24 hours. All right, well, I'm going to jump off because I have landscaping to do tomorrow. And make sure you follow me on Locals. Links in the description. Also, my Facebook if you want to keep up with all this stuff. And Myriad Social, which is a censorship-free site that's actually like on the blockchain and uncensorable, where I'm already posting bonus content over there already. All right, I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.